Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamati Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry got delayed unexpectedly. So,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Uh, Today we'll be discussing about the 13th chapter of 4th canto. So, description of the descendants of Dhruva. So, it is said that interestingly that when a person becomes a devotee in a family, many of his generations, I think something around 17 generations of the past and 17 generations of the future will be liberated. They may not be able to go back to Godhead, but they automatically be liberated. That is a benediction from the Supreme Lord to the devotee families. Okay. So, after hearing the past time how Dhruva Maharaj went back to Godhead along with his mother Suniti, Maitreya Rishi was mentioning our Nardamuni glorified Dhruva Maharaj at the sacrifice of Prachetas. So then, Vidura later on inquired about the Prachetas, who are Prachetas, to which family they belong to, and why were they performing sacrifices, all those things. Okay. So, in order to explain that, Maitreya Rishi starts with explaining about the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. So, and while explaining about the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj had Dhruva Maharaj has two sons from his two wives. So, first son's name is Utkala. So, this person Utkala is a great devotee of Krishna. He knows that everything is temporary. He knows like his qualities are described in detail by Maitreya Rishi. Like he was very peaceful, he was very detached, equipoised. He saw Supreme Lord in all the jivas, and he saw jivas in all the jivas in the Supreme Lord. And his peaceful divide of argument for pure knowledge, bliss, and all pervading. And he burnt all his sinful reactions by practice of yoga. And he situated in his constitutional position, seeing only himself and the Lord. Means like what are these qualities are like they are like avaduta. Avaduta means like somebody who actually transcended the material existence. Like the qualities of avaduta are like they will be in this material world, but they transcend this material world. So for a person in a society, like they generally don't care about the social norms, they don't care about the formalities and the sentiments of the common people in general. So, like if you see, there is many avadutas that are discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's like this Utkala also. He he because he knows that if he acts intelligently, then the responsibility of the kingdom will be kept on his shoulders. So that's why he acted as if he ignorant. He is like Utkala appeared like less intelligent to people. Uh, People as foolish, dumb, and blind and deaf and mad. Okay, like so. When his ministers saw that the eldest son of Dhruva Maharaj is not so worthy, not so intelligent, not so uh, capable of leading the kingdom, so they actually they coronated his younger brother Vatsara, okay. So the younger brother is he is the son of Brahmi, okay, and Uskala was the elder brother, and Brahmi was Vatsara was the younger one, okay. So then Maitreya Rishi describes about the lineage of Dhruva Mahārāja, how Vatsara married Saraswati, and then gives two sons. Among them, uh, uh, some Pushpanara, and then like that, he gives the descendants of like a list of the descendants of Dhruva Mahārāja. And finally, he comes to the he comes to the level of like no Anga. Anga was married to Suniti. He's like great grandchild of Dhruva Mahārāja, descendants of Dhruva Mahārāja. Okay, so Anga was married to Sunita. Sunita was the daughter of Mrityu. Hmm? So basically, Mrityu means it involves lot of tamogun. So Mrityu means lot of tamogun is involved. So, but Anga unfortunately or fortunately gets married to Mrityu, Mrityu's daughter Sunita. So this Anga was a very saintly kingdom. He is like he has the same qualities, a very saintly king, and he was ruling well and all. But when he performed the sacrifice, like when he invites the demigods, there were no demigods used to come to attend his sacrifice. So they used to double check, is there any fault going on? And they used to take utmost care while performing the sacrifice, but still demigods won't accept his oblation. Their demigods won't come to take part in his sacrifice. And this Anga becomes so much worried. Why demigods are not accepting my sacrifice? And he goes and talks to the elderly priest. And then elderly priest says, my dear king, see, demigods are not accepting they are not coming to your sacrifice because you didn't had a son. So why? Because a son will carry his descendant lineage, okay, forward. So that's why, like in society in general, when a family doesn't have a son, like son is another name of son is putra. Putra means somebody who protects from Punnama Naraka. Punnama Naraka means if a householder doesn't have a son, then that kind of householder will be sent to Punnama Naraka, because Punnama Naraka is the place where they won't get any oblations, like the what do you call that pinda Shraddha ceremony, that won't happen to them, and they have to go through that hellish life unless they are a great devotee. See, these are under Karmakanda platform. Karmakanda means they are still on the level of modes of material nature. So, but when they become devotee, when they become pure devotee, when they transcend the material existence by dint of their devotion, then these formalities don't apply to them. But as long as they are in this material world, the Naraka, Swarga, upper planet system, lower planet system, they're all parts of Abrahma, Bhuvanar, Loka, Punaravartana origin. Repeated birth and death take place. So, due to which, if a person doesn't have son, they will be not eligible for the higher destinations. That's what they say. But then one may say, like, see, how can it can be one's fault not to not have a son? So it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, somebody who actually is sinful, he will not have son. Means on the karma kanda level, okay, there are great devotees like Janaka Maharaj, who don't have any sons, okay, but on the karma kanda, on the karma platform, okay, if somebody did some bad karma in the previous life, that kind of person will not have son. But they did some good karma, due to which they have so much of material opulence, but they didn't have enough of good karma to give them the son. So, but from a bhakti perspective, both good karma and bad karma are not good. Why? Because Good karma is like binding yourself with golden chains, and bad karma is like binding yourself with the iron chains. Or good karma can be like first class prison, and bad karma will lead to third class prison. So basically, karma in itself, unless it is performed as a devotion, unless everything is performed as a sacrifice to Krishna, or unless everything is performed as a service to Krishna, as a Nishkama Karma Yoga, it will not lead to, it will not, it will give to reactions, and it will lead to the repeated birth and death. So, but when a person becomes a devotee, he doesn't need all these formalities. Okay. So this Vena, Anga, even though he was very pious king throughout his life, but the priest says you have been pious throughout this life, but maybe not maybe he's confirmed, he's sure, but because of your sinful reactions of your past lives, you are not having son in this life. So demigods are not coming to accept your offering, accept your sacrificial offering. So then the elder priest said to Anga that no, you actually just perform and please Lord Hari in the form of yajna. When he is satisfied, automatically all the demigods will come to your yajna and they'll take part. So you first pray to Lord Hari for a son. Like that, the head priest advises. So following the advice of the head priest, the Vena, he actually, Anga, he performs a sacrifice and offers oblation to the fire, and no, uh, perform the sacrifice to expect a son from the Lord. So from that Yagya Kunda, one great personality comes, the Yagya Purusha comes with a bowl of payasam, the sweet rice, and you can say what you call sweet rice, or let me see. Payasam means, right? You all know. Payasam means it like it's a kheer, okay? He comes with a bowl of kheer, and then he handed it over to King Anga. So then Anga smelled it and smelled its fragrance and gives it to Sunita, his wife. And his wife drinks it and becomes conceived with a son. And then she gives birth to son. But the problem is the seed is very pure, but the mother's womb, mother's nature, this boy acquires grandfather's nature. Who is the grandfather of the mother? This Anga is Mrityu. What is the nature of Mrityu? He used to kill people. So this Anga, being on the role of protecting people as a king, he developed this cruelty. So, so a cruel son is born to King Anga. So when this cruel son is born to King Anga tries to correct him by all means. Anga tries to punishes him and does so many things to bring him to the right path. But because it is said that some qualities which are acquired at the birth will not go until death. So that is proven in the case of Vena also. So Anga's son is Vena, okay? So this Vena, the types of cruel acts he performs, used to perform is, Vena used to unnecessarily kill innocent animals in the forest and frighten the citizens by his presence. Okay. So anybody's presence should actually make us happy, make us comfortable. That kind of personality will be dear to everybody, and that kind of personality will be dear to even the Supreme Lord. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam hitakaram cha means like the way he speaks, the way he deals with other people. So, but this Anga, by his presence, he was actually frightening the ordinary people, and he used to kill the animal, contrary to his great grandfather, like what do you call what his name? Uh, Utkala. Utkala and Vatsara and all other kings. Okay, and he used to, he used to kill he used to play with the, like sometimes the sons of ministers and all those people. They used to come and play with this Vena. This Vena, in a playful mood, he used to kill his friends, kill his friends, and then he doesn't have any regard. He used to kill them like animals. He used to slaughter the playmates. Okay, so Anga tries to correct Vena by many ways, but still he was not able to correct. So by at one point of time, King Anga becomes so much frustrated with the behavior of his son. Mm. And he started contemplating that sunless people are more fortunate than having a son like this. Mm. And yes, but his thinking goes in different ways. Okay, a sinful son vanquishes one's reputation and causes irreligion and quarrel, which creates endless anxiety. So that was his situation. Because of his son, because of his cruel son Vena, Anga was very much lamenting. Because see, like somebody who is reputed, somebody who is very nice to, very well known in the community as a well wisher of everybody, due to their good conduct and then their nature. But if a son behaves on contrary to that person, it actually unnecessary creates unnecessary quarrel and anxiety to the parent. So now, with respect to the behavior of with the behavior of Vienna, Anga becomes so frustrated, and finally he actually sees the situation in different with a different perspective. See, like there is always some positive aspect that we can see in any activity that we went through in our life. So here King Vena, what he says is, oh, having a bad son like mine is much better than having a good son, because if my son is very good, I might get attached to the son, and I might get attached to the home and all the other upadhis. So having a bad son is a blessing from the Lord. I should take this advantage. So what does he do? In one night, without saying anybody, he leaves the palace and goes away, and goes to the forest only to dedicate his time in spiritual activity. And because he was a very pious king, he was taking care of the citizens very nicely. When the citizens saw that their king left the palace and king is not seen, they goes out and search him for everywhere. Hmm? So, but they were not able to find. So at that point of time, like now in those days, uh, a king should be always present. So what does these sages do? In order to protect the citizens, they actually coordinates Vena, even though Vena doesn't have any qualifications, because he's a descendant of King Anga. So that is the end of this chapter. If anybody have any questions, no, or no, anything to discuss in the chapter, you can discuss.
Thank you, Prabhuji. When we were going through these chapters, at the end of the chapter, we were wondering if Sunita was also a bad mother. That is why such a son was born.
No, Sunita was not bad mother, Mataji,
Okay.
because she got the qualities of his grandfather. So his
Hmm.
grandfather is Mutyu, that the
Hmm.
personified death.
Okay.
So for him, for a death, for Varuna Dev, how often he gets motion, how often he get wet, it's like that means it's the quality of a person is he has to award the death to everyone.
Hmm.
So, but this empowerment is not given to him, but he acquired that quality, and he acquired that quality. See, his birth is also Vena's birth is also not ordinary birth. Like only directly he was prayed by, and the Yajna Purusha comes and gives his transcendental payasam to King Anga. by which Vena was born.
Yeah.
But the only only defect is the lineage of the mother of Vena. So grandfather is Mrityu, automatically he got that qualities. Mrityu should be heartless. Mrityu is doesn't care about anybody, anything, right? He does his own duty.
So how many in between Dhruva Mahārāja or Utkala, I would say. Utkala is Dhruva Mahārāja's son. So once he leaves the kingdom, his brother was coronated, right?
Yeah, so many are there. After
Yeah, so in between there are so many, right, Prabhuji?
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And
And then comes King Ganga.
we don't have much lessons to learn from them, but maybe some other Puranas. But here we have the only titles, okay? King Vatsaram gets married to Swaravati. Swarvati. She gets 2 sons, and among 2 sons, Prabha and Dosha. So, Pushpanara married to Prabha and Dosha, gives 3 sons each. And then among them, Vyutsa married to Pushkarini, and she gives 1 son. Her name is Sarvateja, and Sarvateja gets married to Akuti, gives 1 son Chakshusha. Chakshusha married to Nandavala, gives 12 sons. Among 12 sons, Ulmaka was the son who was coronated. Ulmala marries to Pushkarini, gives 6 sons. Among Anga was eldest, and Anga gets married to Sunita, and she gives 1 son. She is Vena.
Okay.
So they are like descendants of Dhruva Mahārāja mentioned, because there are much in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are not many pastimes about the other kings and their children. That's why I didn't go in detail here.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, in those shlokas also we didn't learn anything about them. So from Utkala directly we came to Anga, but of course there were description of different sons that were born, but no details. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anybody have any more questions or comments?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay. If nobody have any questions, we'll end it here. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
devotees. Thank you.